Hi, I'm Tim Bader from Tim Bader Online, and this is part 3, the last one of this short video series. If you missed parts 1 and 2, make sure to check out the links below and catch up on them first. The other thing to say up front is that I have a special bonus lined up for everyone who watches this video through to the end. Last time I talked about why you need help to grow in the prophetic gifts. I looked at why prophecy isn't something straightforward that we can just switch on and off, and why God giving us the gift of prophecy is just the beginning of a learning journey, not the end. Today I want to talk about that learning journey, how you can grow in the gift of prophecy. This largely depends on where you are in that journey, which I talked a bit about last time. To remind us, in the previous video I talked about the stages of prophetic growth, where in the beginning you're spending time with God and learning to discern his voice. Then you're trying to understand what he's saying, you're learning to interpret, and finally you learn the best ways to share prophecy with others, as well as where and when the Lord wants to send you. Amongst all that, you also learn how prophecy leads into and empowers the other spiritual gifts. Something that people don't often think about is how prophecy actually works, which isn't always that clear when you first start out. This is what I want to discuss today because it affects all the stages of prophetic growth. Strangely enough, this topic also leads me to share with you how I got the cover art for my new book. To prophesy clearly, you have to understand what prophecy actually is and occasionally what it isn't. If you've been around my blog or this website for long enough, I hope you will know that prophecy isn't only about the future. In fact, to truly understand the nature of prophecy, you have to know that many prophecies, some might say all, contain all three elements of time: past, present, and future, all in one. Many prophecies in the Bible, particularly those spoken to the Israelites by the anointed prophets, told the people oracles along the lines of, God did this for you in the past, but you have strayed from his ways today. Unless you change and follow him, then this will happen in the future. Usually something pretty undesirable. This isn't simply about God punishing his people. It's showing them and us that there is a continuum of time to be aware of that we frequently overlook or ignore. When we read the prophets in the Bible, we commonly see the same pattern, and it can be confusing when we attempt to work out what is past, what is present, and what is future. Imagine what it was like for the prophets themselves. How did they sift through it all and work out what the Lord was saying to his people? This is an important concept, so when writing my new book, 4 Steps to Prophecy, I included a special chapter on the subject. So I thought I'd read you a small section now. The best analogy I've heard about prophecy is that it's like looking through a telescope. Events that may be far away in time appear as though they are close up. Conversely, near future things may appear to be further away than they really are. If we're the ones looking through the telescope, we may see everything mixed up together: future, present, and past. This creates a tension which we have to learn to live with. Picture for a moment a special telescope given to you by the Lord. It has an uncanny ability to see what the Lord sees and capture it inside as though it were a photographic snapshot. The Lord speaks and shows you something new. As long as you keep looking through the telescope, the experience is wonderful and exciting. But to your eye, events overlap and the detail blurs in and out. However, God shows you how to turn the telescope sideways so you can see both ends. When you open up its full length, you take in a beautiful panorama, just as the Lord intends. That's the nature of prophecy in a nutshell. I tried to encapsulate the idea into the cover artwork of my book as well. Here it is. What I wanted to do was apply the same principle to Bible prophecies and events, as well as bring something of the modern world into it, and somehow display that on the book cover. I'm not an artist, so I was wondering and praying about how it could all work out. As it happened, we invited some friends round for lunch one day and we got talking about it. I discovered my friend's daughter, Sarah Jane, was studying for an art A-level at school, and she agreed to take on my project, which turned out to be God's answer to my prayer. I hadn't really worked like that before. I had to explain my ideas as best I could, and Sarah Jane, rather than working from her own imagination, had to work out what I was going on about and interpret those ideas as best she could. I'm pleased to say that it worked out really well, and I'm very happy with the result. Let me talk you through it. In the centre is the cross, and below it the empty tomb after the resurrection, because Jesus the Messiah is central to the Bible and to all Bible prophecy. Above, we see an angel with a trumpet, indicating that a message is coming from heaven. Below, we have the sea, and to the left, Noah's Ark. And over on the right, back on the land, is the temple in Jerusalem. Still on the land, we see some ancient soldiers on the left with swords and shields, while on the right-hand side are modern soldiers with rifles and a tank. These are the kinds of places and events the Lord used to speak to the people of Israel and still uses to speak to us today. I think of things like the words Jesus spoke, where he said we would hear of wars and rumours of wars as we approach the end times prior to his return. There is a rough order to these images from left to right, but some things are also out of place. For example, the temple was around long before Jesus was born. Hence one might expect to see it on the left. I particularly like the touch Sarah Jane added to the empty tomb, which makes it appear like an eye, looking straight out at the reader. It's a reminder that God still speaks to us today, but we have to spend time to process what he says, to engage with him so we can understand him properly. To finish up, have a think about what this past, present, future aspect of prophecy means for you. How will that affect how you look at prophecy, both the prophecies in the Bible and those you receive direct from God? Let us know your thoughts about it in the comments below, and if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. To finish, I want to get you more engaged with the gift of prophecy. I'd also like to get the message out to as many people as possible. That's one of the reasons I wrote my book, 4 Steps to Prophecy, and I hope that I piqued your interest for it today. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm also hoping to get some support from my ministry. I'm not a paid pastor, and my independent ministry has never really broken even until very recently, and I could do with a little bit of income that will enable me to keep this website running. Due to the way things work on Amazon, I can't offer a direct discount on the book terribly easily. However, what I can do is offer a 50% discount for the online 4 Steps Prophecy School for everyone who purchases a copy of the book. In a sense, the book is kind of a manual for the school because there's an overlap between them. However, there are things in the book that aren't in the school, and the same is true the other way around. Better still, I'm going to give a free space on the school to the first 3 people who purchase the book and let me know. To get your discount, or your free space if you're quick enough, simply buy your copy of 4 Steps to Prophecy from your local Amazon store via the link below, then upload a copy of your receipt using the form on this page. I'll send you your access details for the school where you can log in and start learning. I'll put all the necessary links and instructions below. I hope I'll see you very soon. God bless you in your prophetic growth.